Hi there. G is lost in the city. We're understaffed already. Can't fix it.
A transaction to make, Guardian?
This could be my last night in the tower.
Remain vigilant, Guardian. We may never quite be as safe as we think.
That's what Holiday needs. That's what Holiday needs.
Glad you're still getting out there. Whatever Jalal's fleet needs. Weren't you just here, Guardian? I can work with that.
Let's get moving. We need to find Zavala, Ikora, and Cade. This doesn't make sense. The Cabal conquer systems by blowing up planets. Whatever they want, it must be here, in the last city.
This is Commander Zavala. Civilians, report to evac points. Guardians, rendezvous in the plaza. Our city will not...
Cade.
Hey, you two. Give me a sec. Zavala's doing the hero thing in the plaza. Me? I've got a date with whoever's behind this. It'll be a short date.
Over here, Titan. My armory is open to you. Follow the path from there. It will lead you through the hangar to the plaza. I'll take care of these people. If the Cabal want war, give them war.
Evacuation Order 7-7 is in effect. This is not a drill. All civilians report to designated evacuation areas immediately.
Look at the size of that thing. It must be their command ship.
Okay, my ghost keeps tagging these Cabal as Red Legion. Ikora, what do you got?
They're elite, ruthless, and rumor is they have never known defeat.
Until today. Today they face Guardians.
But Zavala, they're attacking the Traveler.
The Traveler waits. We protect our people at any cost.
The Traveler. What is that thing they're attaching to it?
These Red Legion are well trained, but we are better. We will hold this line until the last civilian is safely away. Incoming! Fall back to my shield! Don't let them pass the gate. The evac shuttles are back there. hold here. That command ship, it's next on my list. Missiles! Stay inside my shield! More Red Legion! Show them what Guardians are made of!
Zavala, the last of the shuttles is away. But the speaker, he never made it. I'm going to look for him.
I've got the plaza. Go with Ikora. Find the speaker.
We're on it, Commander. Ikora!
The speaker is gone. Red Legion, you will take no more from us, and you will find no mercy in me! Zavala.
She'll find the speaker. We need to move on that command ship. Now head to the North Tower. I'm sending Amanda Holliday to pick you up. Holiday is inbound. We need that ship off the field.
Someone told me you need a ride.
Zavala, picked up that Guardian you never showed up about?
Get them on that.
Let us know when the shields are down and we'll hit that ship with everything we got.
That hologram could help. Let me take a look. Okay, the shield generator should be at the bottom of the ship.
your status?
Little low on ammo. The whole flaming pit kept burning out. Anyone heard from Akora?
Not since you went for the speaker. Form up! On me!
The shield generator should be straight ahead. All right, destroy the turbines. The shield should fizzle. Yes, just like that. Heat levels rising. It's working. Zavala, we did it. The shields are down. Zavala? Amanda, we're headed topside. Amanda! How do we come back from this?
You don't. Welcome to a world without light.
Guardian, something's wrong.
Do not look at me, creature. You are weak, undisciplined, cowering behind walls. You're not brave. You've merely forgotten the fear of death. Allow me to reacquaint you.
Guardian. You're alive. I thought I lost you. I can heal you, but I can't resurrect you. Not since. Guardian, the light is gone. They've taken the city, the Traveler, everything. The Red Legion is killing powerless Guardians. We have to get out of here. I'm picking up an emergency broadcast. Rendezvous coordinates. They're evacuating the planet. We're on our own. These Guardians, they had no chance without their powers. That could be us. Guardian, if you die, I can't resurrect you. We need to be very careful. It's that Falcon again. Is it following us? Or are we following it?
Do you see?
Coming up on the European Dead Zone. Gonna be our new home for a while.
Look, do you recognize it? That's where we're supposed to go.
That thing? They call it the Shard of the Traveler. I call it not a place you want to go poking around.
Histories will go unfinished. Oh. I'm glad to see you safe. I am Tyra. Tyra Karn. Truth awaits. We shall unravel that which is hidden.
If I'd known I was going to be running herd on this many Guardians, probably listened at school more. Chit-chat. You and me. This is... whew, lot of civilization. For me, at least. Of course, I've been living outside the city half my life. So... anyway, heard you want to go poke around that busted-up hunk of Traveler. You Guardians have a weird idea of a good time.
Great idea, Soraya. It's been years since you spent time with people. Guess you're in charge now. How did I let you talk me in?
Sure you want to do this? That shard is the reason this place is called a dead zone.
We have to, Hawthorne. It's a sign.
Yeah, a sign that says dead zone.
Swindon say hell no to slow because Relish Superfast Broadband is here. It's just £25 a month with no upfront fee. Oh, and if you're not pleased as Punch, you can have your money back. Jolly good. Relish. Broadband rebooted.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It is the weekly reset, so let's go ahead and go over this Nightfall and go over how to complete it in 5 minutes. This is one of the best Nightfalls so far if you are yet to get your Rat King exotic. This is one of the easiest in my personal opinion. I completed this with 8 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock, and I actually also completed it with 2 people with about 5 minutes remaining. So if you are looking to do this, make sure you do it this week because it is definitely one of the easiest in my opinion. So let's go ahead and start off with the modifiers. The first one is 0 hour, meaning that there is no added time that you can do for this nightfall. So you have 20 minutes on the clock regardless for the normal nightfall, and I believe for the prestige nightfall you have 15 minutes. The next modifier is torrent. This was the modifier for the second nightfall last week. What it does is it drastically decreases your ability cooldowns. So if you're on a warlock, your rift will recharge faster, as well as your grenades and your melee. So whenever there's this modifier, I highly suggest 3 subclasses for each class. For the Hunter, I would suggest you use the Night Stalker. For the Titan, I would suggest you use the Striker, and also to use the top tree of perks on the Striker, which allows you to have 2 pulse grenades. For the Warlock, I would also say use the Stormcaller. What you want to use for grenades is pulse grenades for the Stormcaller and the Striker, and then on the Night Stalker you want to use the Vortex grenade. For the Nightfall run that I did, I was personally on a Night Stalker. I was also using the top tree of perks with Orpheus Rig, which is a very good exotic, and I will go over it in a video later today. So let's go ahead and go over a few tips I would have for this Nightfall. At the very beginning, simply clear out stuff. Once you clear out enough stuff in the second area, it will spawn the orb. Just immediately pick that up and run forward. You can simply follow this path that I'm showing you here, hold to the right, and you can really easily get to the area where you need to dunk it as soon as you can.
In the age of bloody civil war, 2,500 years ago, a Chinese military commander, strategist and philosopher emerged. His name? Sun Tzu. After successfully defending the state of Wu against its neighbour Chu to the west, a book formerly known as Master Sun's Military Methods was born, which has later become known as The Art of War. The Art of War is the most influential treatise on war ever written, consisting of 13 chapters, each of which is devoted to one aspect of warfare. It has shaped the way in which conflicts have been fought for thousands of years, from the Japanese samurai to the Napoleonic War. Not only has the book influenced military commanders and generals all over the world, it has had resounding effects on politics, sports and business to this day. The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It's a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence it's a subject of inquiry which can on no account be neglected. Sun Tzu has a holistic philosophy that if you follow correctly and study thoroughly, you will be victorious. Sun Tzu says, avoid what is strong and strike at what is weak. Sun Tzu is a strong believer that winning the war with as little unnecessary combat as possible is the key to true victory. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting, and the key to doing so is to know your enemy well. If your opponent is arrogant, pretend to be weak, so he will underestimate you. If he was relaxing, attack and give him no rest. If his forces are united, separate them. Sun Tzu is essentially saying that if you know your opponent's weaknesses and how to exploit them, you will never lose.
So at dawn, the hopeless Athenians do the unthinkable. They attack. They attack the weary Persians as they disembark their ships on shaky legs after a month at sea. They attack before they can establish their war camp and supply their soldiers.
Sun Tzu says, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. During the mid-1960s, a war took place between the North Vietnamese Communists and the United States of America. Instead of confronting the Americans head-on, the Viet Cong had a different idea in mind. They used unconventional guerrilla warfare tactics, which included hit-and-run strategies. This proved very effective against the much larger military of the Americans. It's more important to outthink your enemy than to outfight him. The Viet Cong forces were inferior to the Americans in both man and firepower, so guerrilla warfare tactics allowed them to inflict significant damage while keeping their casualties to a minimum. They also had unparalleled knowledge of the terrain. This included a vast network of underground tunnels, allowing them to evade carpet bombing and escape the enemy. The terrain was also laced with various booby traps and landmines. Even though the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese were heavily outarmed by the American superpower, they were still able to defeat them as they truly understood Sun Tzu's philosophy. All warfare is based on deception. Hence, when we are able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must appear inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. This philosophy can be seen in the World War II invasion of Normandy, known as D-Day. The British created several fictional units of troops stationed in Scotland who were ready to invade Europe through its northern regions, in particular Scandinavia. They then used several misinformation techniques to persuade Hitler that 350,000 of these troops were primed to attack. Radio chatter in Scotland lit up with talks of these troops preparing for an overseas assault, and many of these transmissions were made easily interceptable. Allied spies who had been able to infiltrate the Germans reported these developments as well, reinforcing their legitimacy. These spies also took photographs of planes and tanks posed for invasion, but these were actually blow-up models in most cases. All this caused dozens of German divisions to go up to bogus locations and wait for an imaginary army to show up, whilst important battles were fought elsewhere. This method of dividing enemy forces was also employed to a greater extent on D-Day itself. Soviet forces kept around 1 million of the German forces busy on the Eastern Front, whilst the Allied invasion occurred on the Western Front. This tactic of dividing the enemy is one of Sun Tzu's key philosophies and allowed the Allies to achieve victory and eventually win the war. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and comment down below what video you would like us to do next.
Swindon, if you've suffered sluggish broadband, it's time to say hell no to slow, because Relish Superfast Broadband is here. It's just £25 a month, with no upfront fee, and doesn't even need a landline. Jolly good. Oh, and if you're not pleased as punch within 30 days, you can have your money back. Relish. Broadband rebooted.
Well, look at
Most
you.
monolingual speakers
You got
think
your
that other
laptop.
languages are basically just
I don't know
their
how you
language,
did it,
with
but
different words in a slightly different order, and maybe a different
We're gonna need it. There are a lot more survivors out there, and they need our help.
language, with
You
different
gotta get
words in
word
a
out that the
slightly different
farms are
order,
safe.
and maybe a different way of writing. Turns out, though, that there are lots of interesting features in other languages, some of which English could really benefit from having. I'm going to talk about 4 of them. Number 1, time independence. If you want to describe an activity in English, you have to say when it happened or when it will happen. You have to. That's how verbs conjugate. There is no way in English to describe the concept of a person and dancing, but not to mention anything about time. Chinese, on the other hand, verbs don't conjugate. In most cases, the meaning is obvious from context. I don't want to imply that Chinese doesn't have a tense system. It does. It's just not a requirement. It's not baked into every single sentence by default. Side note, tenses aren't as simple as past, present and future, and there are some lovely subtle tenses in other languages. More on that in a later video. Anyway, if you want to write poetry with a more vague sense of time, Chinese is one of the languages to choose. Number 2, clusivity. The word we is confusing. Imagine going up to someone and saying, "Hey, we've just won the lottery!" There are 2 possible meanings there. Number 1, we refers to the speaker and the listener. We've just won the lottery! Brilliant! Number 2, we refers to the speaker and the speaker's friends, but not the listener. We've just won the lottery, but you haven't. In languages with clusivity, there are different words for we, depending on whether you're including the listener or not. It shows up in languages in South Asia, Australasia, and all over the world, apart from Europe. I really wish English had clusivity, because once you describe it, it's a blindingly obvious missing thing that we all, could really use. Number 3, absolute direction. This isn't all that useful, but it is cool. In a few languages, notably a couple of Australian ones like Gugu Yimithir, that's the one that's been extensively studied, there are no words for left, right, forward and backward. Instead, you always use cardinal directions, the equivalent words for north, south, east and west. In this studio, north is that way, so right now I have a north foot and a south foot. If I turn, I now have a west foot and an east foot, I think. I'm having trouble tracking something simple like that, but if you're a native speaker of a language with absolute direction, your brain just handles it. You always know which way you're pointing, and if you don't, you have trouble speaking. As a language speaker, I'd say relative directions are a lot more useful, particularly for those of us that go on the London Underground often, but it would be great to know always which way was north. And finally, number 4, evidentiality. In the same way that time is baked into English sentences, there are languages all over the world where evidence is baked in. If you're reporting something that happened, you have to include whether you personally witnessed it or not. You can do this in English, of course. I saw that, I heard that, but it's not required. Some languages have 5 or more different categories of evidence, based on whether you saw it with your own eyes, experienced it firsthand but it didn't involve seeing, whether you've inferred it from something else, whether you're reporting what someone else has said. All these concepts, which are fairly complicated to explain in English, are expressed just by how you change the ending of a word. All these fantastic features are one of the reasons why keeping minor languages alive is important. If English had utterly dominated the world and stamped out every other tongue, then we'd lose not only these rich languages, but we'd lose the insights that we gain of what the human mind is capable of. So, here's my question to you. Can you think of a brand new language feature? Something that every language should have, but doesn't? Next time, why things aren't always black and white, or blue or green.
I thought you wanted Afghanistan. This is the war I got.
What do you know about it? War.
They should spend more time in the sea.
Ain't nothing out there like you think it is. Ain't no training to prepare you. There's no glory out there. No heroes. It's just death.
A brand new series, The Long Road Home, starts Tuesday at 9 with a double bill on National Geographic.
I want to tell you about the universe. What it is, how it came to be, what its building blocks are. I want to tell you how the future creates the past, which then creates the future. But first, I want to tell you about crystals. You might be surprised to know that a crystal isn't an expensive piece of glass or a chandelier in some fancy dining room. The word crystal simply means a pattern that is periodic. Look at this checkerboard pattern. See how it continues to spread out infinitely in each direction? That means it's a periodic pattern. So that's a two-dimensional crystal. This is another two-dimensional crystal. And this is another. You can also have three-dimensional crystals. By the way, this 3D glass is called crystal because its atoms are actually arranged in a crystalline pattern. So, see how I'm projecting this three-dimensional crystal to a two-dimensional image on the sand? See how the 2D projection looks distorted because of the angle of the projection? That 2D image also has a pattern, but it isn't periodic. So, it's not a crystal. But there's a deep connection between the 2D object on the sand and the 3D mother crystal. This distorted 2D pattern is called a quasi-crystal. A quasi-crystal in a certain dimension, in this case 2D, is a projection of a crystal in a higher dimension, in this case 3D.
Once you are here, if any of you do have a super, make sure you use that immediately. Try and clear out all of the ads in this area. If you don't have a super, that's okay. Just make sure you are spamming grenades. Throughout this whole nightfall, you should be throwing 100 to 200 grenades. I'd say probably 200 grenades should be the minimum you should throw throughout this nightfall. Once you kill the lieutenant in this area, go ahead and run forward. You're going to run all the way until you reach this point that I show you, at which point you will hop on your sparrow and race into the ship. In order to hop on your sparrow and get into the ship, I suggest going around the right side and then racing directly up. When you do go up, sometimes you can get shot a lot, so if you do want to use some right bumper and left bumper on your controller in order to be a little more evasive and move your sparrow, that is also a very good idea. You're going to race all the way through until you reach the first tank. That tank you do not actually have to kill. My teammates did kill it because I was on LPG and I did not put a mic on because I didn't feel like it. So just know that you do not have to kill that tank if you do not want to. Now inside of this room there are two monitors. Since I was a Night Stalker, I simply did and got both of the monitors. There's one on the right above the first tank, and the other one is far left in the corner. In order to be really effective, you want to clear out everything in the left side of the area. Spam grenades and give yourself a lot of room in order to fight this tank. Once you activate the second monitor, a tank will descend from the ceiling. Take out that tank as quick as you possibly can. I simply tethered it, and we're able to do it super fast. Then there will be a lieutenant who will push out as well. You will then progress forward, and this is where you will first see the boss. You cannot actually kill the boss in this room, but you will see him for the first time. In this room, he is going to be in two positions. The first one where you see him directly when you walk out of that room. The other one is going to be on these two ledges. Simply spam grenades on him. The sooner you can get rid of him, the easier it will be to clear out the ads, and then simply to stand on the plate and go upward. After he gets off his second ledge, there is a monitor up there that you do have to activate in order for it to raise you up to the ceiling, so make sure you clear out everything on that ledge and then activate that monitor. At this point, you should just be clearing out all the ads and be ready for when it takes you up.
Where did this symbol come from?
I believe your city hunters must have put them here and there about the region as they scouted around. I think they meant it to mark something special. Or dangerous.
Or both. Let's go check it out.
The history of this region is fascinating. I believe tunnels and caves like the one you're in now stretch all across the EDZ. Who knows what's lurking down there? Be careful.
I just snagged a key code from that captain. I think I can open his supply cache.
But that's for another day. In the meantime, what say we get down to business? Come on back up to the church tower. I'm putting a kettle on now.
Yes? Welcome back. This time I did make tea for you, but I seem to have drunk it all. Perhaps if you were a mite quicker. Right, the beacon. While you were tussling with the Fallen, we've encountered a bit of a setback. Hawthorne has placed the last relay on the mountain above the soap. Considering your next action, are you? Someday I shall look back on this and laugh. Well, Mark will laugh. The militia. It is not sanctioned by the Vanguard. Did you know that? They do not feel comfortable with fragile, delicate humanity having a hand in its own protection. Let's bring them home, you and I, huh?
Hey, Dev. I'm still sitting up here above the mines with this busted comm relay. Where's that signal booster?
Our new Guardian friend is en route. I'm getting too old to clean up after you, Soraya.
Finally, he admits he's old. Bailed me out on one assault charge and you never let me live it down.
Ah, don't you mean one a week? You're the reason my hair is gray.
Yeah. Keep talking, old man.
That elevator should take us to the top of the mines. We'll have to find another way up to Hawthorne.
Careful. The Fallen are scavengers of the highest order. They're going to put up a fight for whatever they can get their grubby claws on. pleased to know that I can see the Fallen fleeing the mine. Seems you've really kicked the hornet's nest, haven't you?
We found an elevator.
You're good. Almost as good as Lewis.
Elevator's not working. Power must be out. And we've upset the Fallen. That did it. Killing the servitor brought the power back on.
Good job. Maybe I'll finally get my booster one of these days.
Hawthorne, we're out of the mine and heading your way.
Then hurry up with that booster. Let's finish hooking up the comm network. And, thanks for the help. You're not so bad. For a fancy-pants Guardian.
Now that's the nicest thing I've ever heard Soraya say. You're in rarefied air, my friend.
It would save us both a lot of time if you would just kill me.
For one who calls himself Speaker, you have remarkably little to say.
Looks like the Fallen are bringing in a glimmer drill. Keep a sharp lookout.
A glimmer mighty.
Shut them down.
Heading to another site. Glimmer. Hold them off while I transmit. of glimmer incoming.
My word. You'll have to keep some for yourself, you know.
Hawthorne already believes Zavala abandoned her and the survivors. Now that we're leaving, if we stayed, yes, we could help them survive, but if Zavala really is building a counteroffensive on Titan, we can save them all.
Vanguard fleet
and
Guardian
take back
ship
the city.
723 is on approach. We received your beacon and we're ready to join the fight.
Guardian ship, this is Zavala. It's too late. The Hive have overrun Titan. I was wrong to bring us here.
Nades on him, throw all of your pulse grenades at the boss fight. Once you go up and you are at the boss fight, I would suggest taking out all of the turrets first. Make sure you don't actually shoot the boss, because if you don't shoot him right away, he's not going to move. So just take out all of the turrets around him, and then once you guys are ready, just do a lot of damage. Throw grenades on him, throw all of your pulse grenades, use your heavy, use a tether if you have a tether, use your smash or your storm if you have a smash. Just do as much damage as you possibly can.
Commander,
if you do enough damage, then once he goes up to the top, you actually immediately come right back down. Now, if you are unable to do enough damage, don't worry, he will simply go all the way up his elevator thing, he will put a little shield down, you simply have to grab an orb, slam it in the area similar to the very beginning of the strike, and then you can simply do damage to him again. If you are unable to do a lot of damage, it would be a good idea to save a super to clear out ads, because you can get overwhelmed very quickly. But that is basically it for this Nightfall. Simply just take him out as fast as you can once you get in this area. Like I said, taking out the turrets is a very good idea because they can be a little bit annoying. After that, just melt the boss as fast as you possibly can. Anyways, that's all that for this video. Let me know if any of you guys actually need help with the Rat King on PS4. I usually stream Rat King help, but the last time I streamed, a lot of people didn't really need it. So let me know by subscribing and telling me if you actually need it or not, and that is how I will judge whether or not I will actually stream and help some people out. If you are someone who just recently came to Destiny 2 from PC, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. Welcome to Destiny 2. This is the Nightfall, one of the more difficult activities in the game, so don't worry if it is a little bit difficult. Anyways, that is all that for this video. Hopefully it was informative. If you have not subscribed yet, feel free to do so. I do a ton of Destiny 2 videos, and I'll catch you guys in my next Destiny 2 video.
Okay, Sloan. We can see the control center.
Copy that. Keep pushing forward. Commander, at this rate, we can start planning our counteroffensive. We'll be outside the city gates in no time.
If it were only that simple.
Performing some kind of ritual. We should talk to Ikora. She knows all there is to know about hive magic.
No one has seen Ikora or Cade since the city fell.
There's the control center.
Clear the area so we can move in.
We made it, Sloan.
Perfect. Recon the perimeter before you move on the control center.
So it looks like we're standing in some kind of hive breeding ground.
Take it out.
Cleared the nest. Heading to the control center now.
Well done. Sweep the perimeter and we'll move in on your signal.
Sloan, Commander, it's done.
Copy that. Zavala and I are inbound. approaching the landing platform. Get up here and take a bow.
I didn't dare believe. If the light can find its way back to you, then perhaps there is hope for us all. Our numbers will continue to dwindle. We can no longer protect ourselves, much less the survivors. And without the light, are we even Guardians anymore?
All right, we're not out of this yet. Now that we've reached the control center, we still need to power up the place before we can take care of our fleet. Commander Zavala tells me you've volunteered. I'll run tactical. Shipwright Holiday here will provide tech support. It's a straightforward op. Get in, flip a switch, get out.
Sloane's got a way of making things sound easy, doesn't she?
Did we leave the Fallen here?
No. Those vultures have been following us since we evacuated Earth.
Sloan, Amanda, the Hive have infected everything.
Holiday, we gotta get you back in the air. We'll need ongoing aerial threat assessments to keep our perimeter secure.
Oh, yeah. You know my ship took a beating during the evacuation.
I'll bump you to the front of the line for repairs once the lights are back on.
Great. Great.
We can see the wave energy converters from here.
Sweet. Now just flip the switch and turn them on.
Accessing systems now.
Some of the pistons are moving, but we're still sitting in the dark.
Something went wrong. Pistons must be jammed.
Sorry, pal. But you're gonna have to go out there. Break a workaround.
You hear that? We made it to the converter platforms.
Okay. Get to the stalled pistons. See what's jamming them. Once they're all moving, we're in business.
Oh yeah, found the problem. The hive have gunked up the pistons.
Then let's find a fix.
First piston's good to go. We gave it a power scrubbing.
That's great and all, but, it's still pretty dark on this end. Sounds like you got more scrubbing to do, Guardian.
Final piston is clear.
Control center's still dark, so it's gotta be more than a piston problem. I have to get in, futz with the circuit breakers.
Try the central platform. Everything routes through there. Circuit breaker's going to be around there somewhere. Find it and flip the switch. Just like I said. Yeah! Power's back! Exemplary work, everyone. But we still have to deal with these intercepted enemy transmissions. power grid. Still good. It's a hell of a view, isn't it? We're up and running thanks to you. There's plenty more to do around here, though. Chief among them, finally breaking ground on a counter-offensive against the Red Legion. I have a plan, but it won't work without you. We intercepted a Priority 1 Red Legion signal during the city evacuation, but we can't crack the encryption. Holiday says there's tech that can do the job in the Arcology, which is effectively hostile territory. You'd be going in blind. The place has been... the wall. What? You have your orders. This isn't drag camping on the Russian steppes. Keep it together. Next time we set up the secret base on a dry planet.
Break it up, Fallen.
Or you'll break them.
That's the last Scorch Cannon. Trading parties won't get their claws on these. Smashed up their walkers.
We felt those explosions from here, but we're still standing, and the Fallen are not. High commendations. Talk this through with a warlock. It's a hell of a view, isn't it? We're up and running thanks to you. There's plenty more to do around here, though. Chief among them, finally breaking ground on a counter-offensive against the Red Legion. I have a plan, but it won't work without you. We intercepted a Priority 1 Red Legion signal during the city evacuation, but we can't crack the encryption. Holiday says there's tech that can do the job in the Arcology, which is effectively hostile territory. You'd be going in blind. The place has been dark for centuries. All we know for sure is the Hive is raising hell down there, perhaps literally. But if you're in, let's put the plan into action. Use it well. Just got dropped in today. Through the wall. What? Plenty of things to do here, Guardian. Do you need a task?
Looks like a ritual.
Deny their objective, whatever it is.
Finished it.
The same way you finish everything, Guardian, with flair. Stand down.
The Fallen depend on their servitors to provide a substance called ether. But this one's been picked clean of ether and abandoned.
Halliday has detected an unusual amount of electricity being redirected into the arcology.
Yep. Juice like that can only mean one thing. A network of CPUs. Powerful ones. Maybe powerful enough to decrypt that Cabal signal we intercepted.
Unfortunately, we don't know where the network might be located.
So you're gonna have to snoop around, not draw too much attention.
Guardian, securing this asset could turn the tide of this war with the Red Legion. Without it, I don't know what comes next.
The bright future of space colonization in the shadow of Saturn.
Sounds like the Arcology's operating system is back online.
I knew it. Keep an eye out for an OS access terminal. You can use it to pinpoint the CPU network.
Over there. One of the access terminals we're looking for. The CPU network is deep in the maintenance levels. Amanda, is this what we're looking for?
Bingo! That's the place.
Okay, I've got the location. Let's find a way down. Definitely in Hive territory now.
Indeed. Keep radio chatter to a minimum. We don't want to draw any unnecessary attention.
There's no way the Hive didn't hear that alarm. We got the CPU, but we stirred up the entire Hive colony, and it's a long walk to the surface.
Move it, Guardian.
They're not gonna make it out of there, Commander.
Guardian, can you make it to the center of the arcology? We should be able to send someone to pick you up from there. Holiday.
Yeah, I'm on it.
This road leads to the center of the arcology. We'll need a way out once we get there.
I'm strapping in and about to take off. I'll be there ASAP.
Amanda.
Sir?
Fly fast. Fly safe.
Yes, sir. Got eyes on you, pal. Meet you at the end of the road.
Good work, both of you. Let's get that CPU back to control and decrypt these transmissions.
Things may finally be looking up for us. All ears. Dismissed. Titan, you and me, we're gonna make the old man proud. Get Vanguard authorization on this, yes.
Commander Zavala needs the Vanguard united again. While he prepares for the assault on the Almighty, we're going to find Cayde and Ikora. Luckily, we picked up an odd signal from Cayde's ghost. It's being boosted somehow from a centaur called Nessus, which is strange. Centaurs are really just big rocks in the outer reaches of the solar system. There should be nothing there. Here we go. Tracking Cade signal now. I think I'm getting something.
In over my head. Vex trap. Failsafe.
Vex trap? What is Cade getting us into this time? Something around here is blasting that signal into space. We find that something, we'll find Cade. There! The signal's coming from that wrecked ship.
Hello. Are you here to rescue the Cade 6?
Whoa, you're not Cade.
The Cade 6 is currently caught in a teleportation loop. He's over there. Whoop. Now he's over there. Whoop.
He's moving? Well, that's complicated.
I can help you. But I'm gonna be super unpleasant about it.
I'm sorry. What?
I have uploaded his new coordinates to you. Against my better judgment.
Okay.
May I help you with anything else?
Yeah. Are you okay? You sound a little off.
I am the Exodus Black's failsafe. Call me Failsafe. I boosted the Cade 6's signal in hopes he would be rescued. And look, here you are.
Oh, I see. She's just an AI. A malfunctioning AI.
I heard that. At your service.
Centaurs are supposed to be just giant icy rocks. How did all this happen?
A robotic alien entity called the Vex have achieved 92.014% conversion of the Centaur Nessus.
Cade!
Someone there? Listen, don't ask me how this happened. I don't have time to explain what I don't have time to understand.
Warning, the Vex will vaporize you.
So, Failsafe, what exactly happened here?
The Cade 6 attempted to manipulate the Vex portal system. He is now trapped in a non-linear loop. In my defense, I tried to warn him. His leg. Not that smart.
This is not going well. How long have you been here exactly?
Long enough to see the Vex convert this entire planetoid, kill all living organisms, reformat molecules, and digitize brainwaves for further study. It's a fascinating process.
She sounds way too excited about that. I'm almost afraid to ask, but Failsafe, what happened to the Exodus Black crew?
Only my captain can access those memories. And he's super dead. The Cade 6 is just beyond that Vex gate. Please proceed.
Won't we get stuck like Cade?
Oh no. My judgment module is much more reliable than the Cade units.
We're through. We're okay.
Of course. The Cade 6 is not far now.
Hey! Over here! Get me out of here! What's that? Is that a Hydra? Okay, yeah. No, handle that first, then me. Get me out of here! What's that? Is that a Hydra? Okay, yeah. No, handle that first, then me. Hey, you're doing great. Thanks. great. Thanks. Then do better. that? Is that a Hydra? Okay, yeah. No, handle that first, then me. Quick! Hurry! Come on! I don't know how long this portal's gonna stick.
Oh yes, by locating the original Vex teleporter the Cade unit used, you can shut down the loop and free him. I can guide you there.
Ugh. What is this stuff?
It's called radiolaria. You know, Vex mind fluid.
This stuff is organic. Seems the Vex are not pure robot.
Warning! Vex threat detected. They are blocking your path to the Cade unit's teleporter. You will have to eliminate them. destruction of the Vex would make me miss my captain and crew less.
Did it?
It did not.
This is the Vex teleporter?
Yes, the Cade 6 will want it. You should pick it up.
Take that, you scrap heap! I'm out, baby! Out! Woo!
Cade, where are you?
Hey! You did it! You got me out! Ha! 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 Where am I?
Cade unit, you are near the remains of my reactor core. Welcome to the Exodus Black, where all your dreams come true.
Seems like you've met my new friends, Failsafe and her evil twin, Failsafe.
Which is the evil one?
If I had feelings, they would be hurt.
Uh-oh. Fallon's got the Vex in a tizzy, and by tizzy, I mean murderous rampage. I'll hunker down in the Exodus Black.
Here, but my hull is in 108 pieces. Decks 1 through 20 are buried, and my coolant system...
I am a mess.
Oh, we know, Failsafe. We know.
Is it too much to hope that the Vex and Fallen finish each other off?
But then you miss all the fun.
That is a really big Vex. Guys, we're blocked. The Vex put up a barrier.
I know how to disable that barrier.
The big Vex. Smash it.
The Gate Lord's down. Hold on, Cade. We're on our way.
That's good to hear, because the Fallen just found us.
Activating defensive shield. The Cade 6 must stand back.
Hey, nice one, Failsafe. The Fallen can't get to us now. That's right, though. They can't, right? Get to us. Hey, you probably want to hustle. I think they just said something about ripping my beautiful horn off my face. My beautiful, beautiful horn?
Intruder alert.
It's us! That fallen dropped something.
Updating my crew log. New captain registered. Welcome aboard, Captain.
Hey, down.
So it's true. The light found its way back to you. Not that I'm jealous or nothing, but take it easy out there, will you? You're making me look bad.
What, may we ask, were you going to do with a Vex teleporter?
Get up close and personal. Go. Put a bullet in his head. Then maybe eat a sandwich. Gotta work out a few kinks first. Fun fact about the Vex tech. Not as intuitive as you'd think.
Cade, you can't do this alone.
Hell, I can't.
Even if you manage to kill Gaul, when the Red Legion leave a system, defeat or victory.
Hello, you must be Cade's friend. I am Failsafe. I am so glad to meet you in person. I know you are going to Io. Should you return, I will be happy to assist you in researching the Vex. We could steal their stuff. That was a joke. Stealing is wrong. Usually. Take care.
All alone. Ugh. Humans.
Attention all crew members. Incoming fallen craft with elevated ether signatures.
The Fallen are feeding on that servitor.
That is very bad news. Please stop them.
did it. We broke open the servitor.
Did you know ether exposure causes no permanent damage? Congratulations.